Hello. So today I'm going to walk you through my dance makeup routine, my face makeup routine. It's simple and for online performances it sometimes can be a little more intense because you're trying to really stand out on a screen where instead of in person, right, where the light hits you in the right way. Here you're accounting for the fact that on your screen the light may reflect differently. The viewer may not have a great screen viewing capacity, resolution may differ, etc. So there's a lot more things to keep in mind. That being said, let's get started. So I have some products here. I have my Neutrogena Healthy Skin Anti-Aging Perfection Moisturizer. So it's got sunscreen, it evens your skin tone. Here I have my face primer Dewy Luminex, it's Wet n Wild. And I have my CoverGirl foundation over here. Plus I have my eyeshadow palette and my eyeliner pencils. I have a kajal pencil and I have a liquid liner. So all of these are going to be used. Alright, let's begin. So to start, I am going to use, I think I'll use my moisturizer. So this is a slight tinted moisturizer. I'll take off my ring so that, So what I like about this, it has retinol in it. It's actually a really nice one. And it smooths out any unevenness of the skin. So because of the lockdown and everything, I feel like stress has kind of made my skin a little less glowy than I would like it to be. So this really helps with that. Make sure you put it all over the face, otherwise we'll have patches of odd looking skin. And I'm not big on like a lot of makeup usually, but for the case of dance program, you kind of just end up having to go over the top. Okay, now for the primer, a little bit of primer, just so the foundation glides. It also adds a bit of a shine. And so since I tend to be a little on the fair side, especially in the winter when I'm not doing field work or anything, I try to use a slightly tinted moisturizer, primer, etc. because that way I don't look like a complete bhoot or a ghost when I am dancing on the screen, because trust me, it can be very unnerving for an audience member to see. Okay, so that's the primer. I'll show you the products in detail later. Now comes the foundation. So the order is typically moisturize, primer, foundation, blusher, eyeshadow, eyeliner. So it's okay if it starts off blotchy because I have to spread it. And again, my foundation is CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made. I prefer matte to glossy because glossy just adds a very unnerving glow to your skin, especially for like online performances or virtual performances, whereas a matte look kind of looks more natural. And I'm all about naturally looking makeup, trust me. If you've been dancing for as long as I have, you get very bored of putting really high maintenance, large amounts of makeup. It tends to get old really fast. Okay, so my skin is looking a lot more even and smooth. I'm going to say that's good. If it's an online performance, people aren't going to really see up close, so it's okay. Now comes my favorite, the Revolution Makeup Revolution London brand of eyeshadow. My dance teacher gave it to me. And as you can see, lots of pretty colors. Fat brush. I tend to take the dark pink for blusher, so it stands out on screen. And my usual approach is to kind of draw a triangle with my blusher over here. So that makes it not, I don't like it when little kids do, for little kids, like when we did school day shows, to just put a big poof here. It doesn't look so good. And don't worry if it's blotchy at first, you can always even it out later. Or for all we know, it won't even show up. Smiling helps. You can sort of see the natural creases of your skin and work with those. That's honestly all I need for blusher. So now for eyeshadow, the technique for dance is to put more of a reddish or a pinkish shade inside and then a cool color on the outside, so that really pops. I use my eyeshadow brush occasionally. It doesn't show up well, I just use my finger at that. I think I may use the finger for the inside. I'm not afraid to paint above the line crease, just because the bigger the eye looks, the better for the case of a performance. I'm sorry, this is not a very flattering angle for me, but perks of a makeup tutorial. So you can see it's very red, right? Which is good, because if it's seen on the phone, it means it's seen on the screen. Now I'm going to use this dark blue color, as you can see, dark blue, for the outer end. It's a very stark contrast, as you can tell. Which is good, because as I mentioned, we want to look dramatic, we want it to really stand out. And people on screen who aren't able to experience it in person will at least be like, wow, she's got her makeup on. If nothing else, beautiful. For the record, I have a performance, which is why I am putting all of this jazz on right now. I'm not just dressing up for fun. There is some faida to this. So obviously, eyeshadow wise, people get a lot more creative than I do with their eyeshadow, which is great. Keep up with it. If you are one of those people, I am very happy for you. I am not very good at just going overboard with eyeshadow. I look like I have a black eye, which by dance standards means I've done something right. By regular standards, this would be a big issue. People would be concerned. Oh, it sometimes gets a little out of the lines, but that's okay. And so they say to try and blend it together a bit, It doesn't look too aggressive. I think I do a better job with my finger for the blending. And wash your eyeshadow brushes often, guys, because trust me, it's really unpleasant. Okay, it looks slightly frightening, which is a good thing. Kajal pencil. So for the kajal, I use the kajal for my lower lid because liquid liner never works for some reason. Remember, you want to outline the inner layer also, and then outside your eye. Always go in first, then out, so that if the makeup that's outside doesn't get into your eye and mess with your cornea. Trust me, you don't want eye problems. I already have glasses, I'm wearing contact lenses. Anything more would just be a problem. I'm using this small mirror for this because God knows I need to see up close. Okay. So we have this thing called raccoon eyes for dance. So thick lower lash, thick upper lash. Think of, if you've seen the serial Mahabharata, the 2013 Star Plus series, think of Draupadi's makeup. So if your eyes tend to get teary from too much messing around with them, use eyeshadow instead of kajal. It achieves, black eyeshadow, it achieves the same effect and it's way easier on your eyes. Okay, I think I have done my lower lids to the best of my capabilities. Kajal, so for the upper lid I tend to use liquid liner because it glides more smoothly and I like the sort of finished look it gives. It's glossy. Yes, I know I look very alarming. For my last performance, I think I put a little less. This time I'm going a bit over the top. So one thing to remember, something that looks really hideous, like in person, looks good on the screen. Okay, I think I did a pretty decent job with my liner. You're getting a good view of it. Okay, extremely intense eyebrows, I know. Sorry, it's a requirement for dance. Okay, we are done. So thank you. Once again, products are Wet n Wild's Face Primer, Dewy Luminex. My Neutrogena Healthy Skin Anti-Aging Perfector Neutral to Tan is the color. It's a moisturizing retinol treatment with sunscreen. And my CoverGirl Soft Honey Matte Finish foundation. So I use liquid foundation, not powder. And of course, the Revolution Makeup Eyeshadow Palette. So thank you all so much for paying attention. I know this is a bit long, but sort of maybe it'll give you some tips on how to do face makeup for a dance performance or a show. Thank you.